starting in the same spot as I ended my week 1 Spooktober vlog because I wanted to do a quick intro. Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. It is currently the month of October, which means that Spooktober is underway. This is the spooky readathon that I co-host with my bestie Stasia, and I made a goal to vlog every week of the readathon, and my week 1 vlog should be out by now, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into week 2. In case you missed it, in my week 1 vlog, I finished the first 2 books for the Spooktober game board. Might be on this side, might be on this side, we'll see. Those 2 books were Escape Room by Maren Stoffels and Mary by Nat Cassidy. These were for the prompts of Novella and Final Girl. Read both of these. They have been checked off my list for my Spooktober TBR. For week 2, I have 2 main goals. First is to finish Good Girls Lie by J.T. Ellison, which I am reading for the prompt of blood red on the cover. This was my 3rd roll. I am already almost halfway through it and hope to finish it up by tomorrow or Wednesday. Today is October 6th, so I just wrapped up week 1. Week 2 of Spooktober will technically start tomorrow, but I'm doing my intro now. So goal is to finish up this one during week 2, and my other reading goal is to read Girls with Long Shadows by Tennessee Hill for the prompt of between 200 and 300 pages. This is a baby book and I'm excited to pick it up. I don't really know what this one is about, but I do know that it is a Southern Gothic thriller, and I think it follows a set of triplets, and something happens that turns their life circumstances deadly. I am excited to pick this one up, but before I can do that, I of course need to finish Good Girls Lie. The goal for the first part of the readathon is to read in the order in which you rolled for the game board. So I ideally need to finish this one up first before I can start my next one. As of right now, what I can tell y'all about Good Girls Lie is that it is a thriller that takes place at this elite private prep school in the mountains of Virginia for young girls who come from wealth typically, but also live in some sort of dysfunction. We have girls who are rebellious and who are kind of criminal in terms of the minor charges that they have. We have girls who come from homes where parents are divorced or having affairs or are very prominent and just kind of neglect their children. We have a variety of young women at this school, and they are getting educated, they are getting refined, and ideally the goal of this school is to send them off to Ivy Leagues, well-known schools, very great universities once they graduate from this high school. We have our new girl who's a sophomore, I believe. Her name is Ash, and she comes from Europe, and that's kind of a big deal to all the girls at the school. Both of her parents died right before she was supposed to start here. We don't know if Ash ended up playing a role in their deaths or what really happened. I think that Ash is a very unreliable character, which I don't mind in my thrillers, but I'll be curious to see what ends up happening. As of right now, I'm not loving this one. It's fine. It's my first book by J.T. Ellison. She is a local author to me. I've heard her speak before, and I really wanted to check out one of her books, but right now I feel very average about it, but hopefully the stakes start getting higher in this one now that I'm almost halfway through it. We just have been introduced to a secret society that is going on at the school, and I'm hoping that things start moving now that we are a couple hundred pages into the book. But goal number 1, of course, is to finish this one before I can move on to Girls with Long Shadows. I'm actually going to be going to Disney World for a major part of week 2, so I'm gonna see if I can find an ebook copy of Girls with Long Shadows, because I'll probably end up having to read this one on my Kindle while we are waiting in line for rides and things like that. But we'll see if I binge it before I even get there. I don't know. We leave on Friday morning at like 5 a.m. on like a little 4-day Disney trip, which I'm very excited about. It'll be our 3-month wedding anniversary, but I definitely need to pick something that I can read as an ebook because we will be waiting in lines, of course, in the parks, and ideally it's something for Spooktober, but I'll keep you all posted, of course, as the week goes on what my plans are for that part of the week. But yeah, these are my 2 goals for week 2, and I'll check in hopefully once a day, every other day. We'll see what ends up happening this time. And yeah, I'll give y'all more thoughts and synopses on these books.
Mirrors on the wall, staring back at me. Stranger in the hall, frozen by the scene. Portraits seem to fade, he lost his centerpiece. Can't recall his face, I hope he'll rest in peace. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. Bury me alive.
Hello. It is Wednesday, October 8th, and I'm hopping in for my first update for week 2 because 60 seconds ago I finished Good Girls Lie by J.T. Ellison, and y'all, I just want to find a 4 or 5 star read this month for the readathon because this one was unfortunately another 3-star read for me. This book was way too long for what it was. Yes, I love the setting. Yes, I love this isolated prep school academy for sort of dysfunctional girls, but the book, the length of it was just such a deterrence for me. It was very boring at times. It did not hold my attention completely until the back end of the book, like the last 25 or 30%. That's when things got good. That's when I was hooked on the storyline. But up until then, there were several moments where I just did not care. We have some very intriguing and fun drama in this one. There is death. There are girls who are hurt in this book, who die, and I just felt very average about it. So I'm giving this one 3 stars. It was all right, nothing special, but this is officially the 3rd book done from my Spooktober game board, which means that I will now be jumping into my 4th book, which is Girls with Long Shadows by Tennessee Hill. I am reading this book for the prompt of between 200 and 300 pages. This book rests at 288 pages. So I'm hoping that it is a very quick read. I have not heard a ton of people talk about it. I don't know what to expect going in, but I got this one because the author is coming to the Tennessee Southern Festival of Books that is being held here in Nashville, and I wanted to read it. My hope is to go to the festival. I don't know if I'll be able to end up going just because of things we have going on, but this author is going to be there and I wanted to read a couple books by those authors who are going to the festival. So that's why I got this one in the first place for half off at Barnes & Noble, which we always love a good discount. But I don't know what this one is about. Really, all I know is that we have Southern Gothic literature and a set of triplets in their lives when things go horribly wrong. I'll update y'all, of course, with a better synopsis. and we'll chat more at a future time. I've got one more full day here before we leave for our Disney trip, so I'm hoping that I can actually make good progress in this one before we leave, because I'll probably pick a different book to binge on the plane rides, just because I just think that sounds fun. I would really like to binge some more Frida McFadden on the plane, because that's what I did for our airplane flight in the first week of October, and I want to do that again because it was very fun. So we'll see, but I may or may not be able to read this one before tomorrow night, before we have to get packed up and ready to leave super duper early on Friday, which means that I'll have to kind of readjust my reading plans for while we are gone, but we will see. I'll keep y'all posted on my thoughts on this one and any reading updates that I have over the next couple days.
Say goodbye to who I am today.
Hopping in here with another update, this time for Thursday, October 9th, because I surprisingly was able to finish one more book before our trip tomorrow. I finished Girls with Long Shadows just a few minutes ago, and I also ended up rating this one 3 stars. I read it for the prompt of a book between 200 and 300 pages. This one sat in at 287, and it was just fine for me. The second half of the book was so good compared to the first half when I thought things were super duper slow. I wasn't super invested in the plot or the characters. This one is about 3 triplets, a set of triplets, all girls who go by baby A, baby B, and baby C around this town. Their mother died in childbirth, and they are now 19 years old, and their brains and bodies are all very eerily synced together, but they're triplets, and that's just how their life is. They've accepted it, and there's some drama between them now that they are grown up. They are all 19 years old, and baby A specifically, the story is told from the perspective of baby B, but it's mostly focused on the tension and growing drama of baby A and the things that she is doing in her life and the choices that she is making. And something happens to this first triplet that alters the course of all of these girls' lives, and this is their story from the build-up to that climax, to the resolution of it, to the feelings that they feel at the end of the book, and just the horrors that they have to survive through and all that they have lost in their lives. Again, this one was just fine for me. I guess when I was thinking Southern Gothic thriller, I was expecting more mystery and intrigue, and this one felt more like literary fiction to me, which is fine. There was a little bit of mystery, and then the back half of the book was very interesting and very intriguing to me, but otherwise I just felt very average about this one. If you like books that take place in the South about family dynamics and family drama and loss between family members, and books about siblings, specifically triplets, you may enjoy this one. I can definitely see the beauty in it. It was not my favorite read personally, did not do what I expected it to do, but it was fine enough. But because I finished that, I'm just gonna go ahead and start another book today for the readathon, and I was going to read How to Survive a Horror Story by Mallory Arnold for my next prompt that I rolled for, which was to read a book with multiple POVs, but my copy of The Housemaid's Secret came in the mail yesterday, so I actually think I'm going to read this one instead. I do still plan to read this one at some point in October. If it's not for the game board, then it will be for the haunted house, but I think my new goal is to finish this one. I binged The Housemaid so quickly last week and I loved it, and I want to continue with the series, so we're gonna hop into this one. I don't know a ton about what it follows, except that we do follow our main character from the first book and the next housemaid job that she gets. So I'll keep y'all posted on this one, and we'll chat very soon. So hello. It has been several days since I've updated y'all because, as you saw from some of the included B-roll clips, we were in Disney World for a couple days. It was a super fun trip and I'm so glad that we were able to go and celebrate our 3-month wedding anniversary there. And it also feels good, however, to be back home, to settle back into a routine. And I wanted to hop in with an update because week 2 of the readathon is officially over, and I've decided to go ahead and combine weeks 2 with week 3 because it is already Tuesday, October 14th, and part 1 of the readathon ends on the 18th, and at this point, I only have one more book left to read. So we're gonna go ahead and combine this final week into my week 2 vlog since there's a lot that happened, and I think it makes sense just go ahead and combo week 3 in with my current vlog because I only have one more book left to read now. But I do want to go ahead and give y'all an update on 2 books that I did finish since I last talked to y'all on Thursday, because I have in fact gotten some reading done. I think in my last clip I mentioned that I finished Girls with Long Shadows by Tennessee Hill and was going to start The Housemaid's Secret for the prompt of read a book with multiple POVs. I binged this book in less than 24 hours. I finished it on the plane on the way to Florida and honestly had a great time with it. I don't think I loved it as much as the first book in the series, but this one is a direct sequel to book 1, so I can't talk too much about the plot without spoiling anything, but just know that we do follow one of our main characters from the first book and another situation that she has gotten herself involved in, and I really enjoyed it. This series so far has been so much fun. I am really enjoying reading about our main character Millie and the mysteries that she finds herself in and just the chaos that goes along with those things. So 4 stars to this one. Not as great as book 1. I wasn't gasping out loud as much as in the first book, but still really fun and did help me complete a prompt for the board. And then also while we were waiting in line, of course, for rides and things like that, as well as on the way home yesterday and today at work, I started and finished Such Quiet Girls by Noelle W. Ely, and I'm giving this one 3.5 stars. This is a thriller. I read it for the missing person prompt, and it follows our couple of main characters, 2 of which have been kidnapped. They were on a bus to an after-school daycare. One of these POVs is one of the children, the other is from the bus driver, and their bus is overtaken by some bad men who kidnap them, and they are put into a shipping container buried underground and hope that they can stay alive long enough for the ransom that these men ask for to be paid in full, so that way they can get out and be alive and be rescued. So in this book we are following 2 of the kidnappees, one of the kidnappers, and the mother of 2 of the girls who were in this bus that got taken hostage. And I did like this one. It did make me tear up in the end, and I definitely am intrigued to read more from the author now. This wasn't a fast-paced thriller to me. There was never a moment when I absolutely felt like I had to know what was going to happen next. Everything was just very much a, oh, like, interesting. It was good, but I wasn't super invested in it. I liked it, yes, and I would definitely recommend it, but I wasn't obsessed like I have with other thrillers that I've read. And it was fun. It might make for a great beginner thriller for people who are just trying to get into thrillers. There are some content warnings for this one, which I'll have in the description down below, of course, but I liked it, didn't love it yet. I would check out more from this author now. I have read the author's book Room for Rent, and I did not like that one at all, so I'm glad that this one went quite a bit better, and I was able to give it 3.5 stars. This does now lead me to the final prompt for the board, which is to read a book with 10,000 reviews or less, and for that I'm reading You Know What You Did. I got this thriller from Aardvark, I want to say last year, and have yet to read it, so I am now. But this one follows a first-generation Vietnamese American artist and some things that happen in her life that connect with the past and ties it to the present, and some crazy things that end up happening. I know that in this one, our main character wakes up next to a dead body. At least I think that's what the synopsis said. I'm not going to reread it this close to actually picking up the book, but I am looking forward to getting to this one. It is kind of a chunk. I've got 4 days to read it, so the goal is to finish it by Saturday, October 18th. It is the last book that I need to read to finish my game board, to make it to the haunted house, and to get in line for that when that opens up on October 20th. So that is my game plan. 4 days for one book. I think I can do it, and hopefully I find another great read like I did during this last week. I'm excited to dive into it, and I'll update y'all in a couple days with some reading progress and a synopsis for this one. It is October 16th, and I have 2 days to read a little bit over 100 pages, and I actually feel confident now that I can do it. I already somehow have made it to the 75% mark in You Know What You Did, and I figured I should probably go ahead and do an update because I have not yet for this one, and there's a lot to chat about. I like to say that one of my favorite elements in thrillers is the unreliable narrator thriller, and we very much have this one going on in here, but I'm afraid that it could end up being a little bit of a deterrence for me in the end because it's kind of a lot. Let's chat about the synopsis first, and I'll kind of share my thoughts on this one. In this book, we are following our main character who goes by Annie, and she is a first-generation Vietnamese American artist. She is married into this pretty wealthy family, and she has a daughter. She also has OCD, is trying to make her way in the world of being a painter and an artist, and she finally thinks that she is catching her big break, but as this big break is potentially being caught, things start kind of going downhill for her. She starts forgetting things that are going on in her life. Her medication is no longer working, and she has this type of OCD that just makes her feel disgusted by the thought of everything, just not knowing where things have come from and what her body is touching and things like that. And it's very much starting to affect her daily life and her daily living with her husband and her daughter. And there's a lot of things that we don't still know the truth about yet. There's a past that we have here that we are slowly getting glimpses of with Annie and her mother when they, I think, first moved to the US, and something happened. Annie did something, and it kind of has haunted her over the years, but we haven't seen the full picture yet of it. I have a feeling though that this one is going to be mixing in the amnesia trope with the unreliable narrator trope, and I'm hoping that it occurs in a way that is still very twisty and ends up being an entertaining twist, or like a very shocking plot moment where the truth is revealed. Because one of my least favorite tropes in thrillers, and it's not that I hate it by any means, I'm just not usually a huge fan of it, is the amnesia trope, where characters have forgotten their pasts for whatever reason. So I love this unreliable narrator trope. I don't know why exactly our past is so blurry and what has actually happened in this book that we don't know, because the main character has forgotten in just the blur of all the things she's been going through, or what will actually end up being the truth, because there's a lot that this main character may or may not have done that we don't actually know because she is not remembering them herself. I don't know if that's technically amnesia, because there's not one moment that has defined our main character that made her forget everything else in her past. There's just like these very specific moments that she's not remembering, and I don't know, we'll see how it plays out, but I definitely don't trust our main character, but I'm very curious to see what the truth is regarding our main character Annie and all of the things that have been happening in her life recently. It has been an interesting read so far though, and I am hoping to finish it up by tomorrow, and then we'll go ahead and just wrap up this vlog because I'm not gonna read anything else for the game board. I'm just gonna wait until the 20th of the month hits when the next part of the readathon officially opens up. But it is entertaining so far. The beginning was very, very slow, but we are now to the point where I don't know what to trust and I don't know what the truth is, and I do want to know what is actually happening because there have been deaths, there have been some infidelity moments, almost infidelity moments that our main character has been a part of, and I just don't know what to expect. But I've got like 120 pages left to find out, and hopefully they are satisfying while also being shocking. So I'll hop back in here one more time to wrap up this book and to wrap up weeks 2 and 3, but progress is being made, which is good. I'm now certain that I'll be able to finish up the game board, which is great, and we'll chat once more either tomorrow or on Saturday. Happy Friday, y'all. I'm officially here to wrap up my Spooktober part 1 reading vlogs just a little bit early because as of last night I have completed the Spooktober game board. I honestly feel a huge sense of relief. There was a short moment when I did not think I would complete the board, and that was my main goal for this month, but I did. We're gonna wrap up my books, chat about how weeks 2 and 3 went, and then we're gonna start getting prepped for part 2 of the readathon, which involves some haunted houses and some teams, and I cannot wait. But before we chat about weeks 2 and 3 in totality, I do want to update y'all on You Know What You Did, because I ended up giving this book 4 stars. The plot twist genuinely shocked me and made every single thing that the main character went through in this book make so much sense in the most shocking way. I genuinely never would have guessed that the truth that was revealed was actually the truth. I actually had my eyes on somebody else as potentially being behind this manipulation of our main character Annie's life and situations that she had very recently found herself being put into. I genuinely loved this one. This is a thriller that also mixes in conversations about family, race, identity, immigration, and all of these themes that blend together to create this very dark and manipulative, I would even argue, thriller that honestly just ends up breaking my heart for our main character. She is very much used, taken advantage of, and I now see why people were questioning her because of what was being done to her. I really enjoyed this book. The beginning was quite slow. I wasn't super into it for a while, but the back half of the book was amazing, super captivating, and I would highly recommend checking this author out. This book I did read for the prompt of 10,000 reviews or less, and it's very underrated. I don't see people talk about it, but I'm so glad that I had the chance to pick it up and do plan to keep it on my shelves for quite a while to come. But because I finished this one, I've officially made it into the haunted house. Weeks 2 and 3 of the readathon have been super productive. I'm gathering my stack of books that I read these past 2 weeks, and we've got 5 here that were just for the readathon. These are the books paired with week 1 reading that got me up to the haunted house. Let's run through these books super quickly. I'll give y'all my rating of them as a wrap up, and then we'll sign off and get ready for part 2 of the readathon. But first, to start week 2, I finished up Good Girls Lie by J.T. Ellison. This is a prep school thriller. I gave this one 3 stars. I read this one for the prompt of blood red on the cover. Next, I read Girls with Long Shadows by Tennessee Hill. This one is for the prompt of between 200 and 300 pages. I also gave this one 3 stars. It is a heartbreaking story about 3 sisters and tragedy that overtakes their lives. Next, of course, I binged my girl Frida McFadden, The Housemaid's Secret, for the multiple POV prompt. Gave this one 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. It is a direct sequel to The Housemaid. While we were on our vacation, I read Such Quiet Girls, and I gave this one 3.5 stars, 3.5 stars. I read this one for the missing person prompt. It is a book that revolves around a group of kids and a bus driver that go missing and are buried alive and have to be found before time runs out. And then finally, of course, to wrap up part 1 of Spooktober, I read You Know What You Did. This is a thriller about a Vietnamese American artist and the manipulations and trauma that she has gone through and is suddenly reliving when things in her present start going wrong. I gave this one 4 stars. I can't remember if I already said that, but I read this one for 10,000 reviews or less. So overall, some great reading has happened over the last 10 days or so to wrap up weeks 2 and 3 of this readathon. I now have 3 full days off before part 2 starts on Monday, October 20th, which means that my next vlog will be starting then once we kind of get our official game plan figured out. So keep an eye out for the haunted house happening very soon. But this concludes my game board reading vlogs for Spooktober. I had a great time and I'm honestly just feeling a sense of relief that I made it into the haunted house. Before I sign off officially, I do just want to say a quick thank you to Everand for being a part of today's video. Everand is an ebook and audiobook platform, and I used Everand in this vlog to listen to Girls with Long Shadows. I have really enjoyed having the subscription recently and love their audiobook selection, especially as somebody who binges audiobooks often among her physical books. If you're interested in starting a free trial, I do have a link in the description down below. A standard subscription is $11.99 a month and includes 1 premium unlock, as well as access to thousands of other available content, including ebooks and audiobooks and podcasts. And a premium subscription is $16.99 per month and gives you 3 premium unlocks, as well as access to a whole catalog of other content that is available to you as a subscriber. I genuinely have loved using this app recently and cannot wait to continue using it for the rest of October and the rest of 2025. That's all that I have though for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.